Welcome to the Come Hang podcast. I am your host, Specialist Bronson. After serving in the military, I am fascinated by the remarkable stories of those that continue to dedicate their lives to service leadership and leaving no one behind. In our mission to inspire, educate, and collaborate, we invite you to come hang. All right, welcome back to the show. I have got another veteran with us today who is another inspirational referral from our man, Brad Howe. I spoke with Brad a little bit. Well, I didn't speak with him. I was texting Brad a little bit earlier this morning, and he gives you a big shout out, says, tell you he loves you, brother. And
My man.
We've got some comments and questions and stuff from him when we get into here. But guys, today I have got an awesome veteran with us, Samuel Johnson, a.k.a. Wheelzz. Sam, can we call you Wheelzz?
I'll let you boy. Yes, you can.
Perfect. All right, guys. Sam's got a really awesome story that I am really looking forward to hearing him talk about today and share his story. I'm just going to jump right to it. And Brad spoke it best. I put a comment out to him this morning and just let him know that I was interviewing Wheelzz here. And I just said, hey, any comments, thoughts, anything you think I should ask him? And he said, brother, you always have the right questions and answers. Let's see how you shine. And he said, but the rehabilitation of my brothers and sisters is what we want to hear, and how it eliminates the curse of 22. Tell him I'm proud of him and I love him. So Wheelzz, from your brother, from our brother, Brad Howe, we love you, brother. Guys, Wheelzz has got a really impactful story here. It's heartbreaking. It's depressing. It's dark. It's criminal. We've done plenty of episodes on addiction, recovery. Wheelzz is the walking story of that. So, Wheelzz, my objective today is to let our listeners know, who did Samuel have to become after the Army, addiction, the crash, and the wheelchair, and what did it cost him to become Wheelzz? Okay.
We can do that.
All right. So let's get right to it. I got some questions and we're going to lead this story out here. Before we get to know Wheelzz, before we even get to know Samuel Johnson, take us back to high school. Take us back to kind of growing up. What was life like? What were your dreams like? Where was things going? Where did you expect life to end up? Give us a little backstory on your life, would you?
Poor, abused, house fire, hospital for a year, taken from my parents, all before I was 14. I don't know what the normal childhood would be growing up. We lived from house to house. My dad had to bring water in 55-gallon barrels of the tin cans for us to take baths, do laundry, wash dishes. You could go to bed at night. You could hear the rats in the kitchen and wake up and go in there and you don't see a thing. High school was kind of like my outlet. I got into sports. I was into sports in the high school, basketball, football. But my dad and my mom were not sports enthusiasts like that because they were working, both working to keep a roof over our head, keep food on the table, bills paid, vehicles running. I didn't have that in high school. So to me, sports is all I had. I didn't have my parents. I didn't have anything but the sports and the guys that I would hang out with, or some of the guys that I would kick it with. We get, smoke our red bud and our joints and stuff. High school, do I look back on it now? I could have done a hell of a lot better than what I did. But I was just a rebel without a cause. Sports were an outlet, but still, I think more than anything, I wanted me and my dad to have a relationship that never formed until like here almost 20 some years before his passing. But straight out of high school, I was a little ass. I thought my parents were going to take care of me. I
Okay.
I thought I was white. Like, no, my mom and dad going to give me money. Get your ass up out of here. Better go get a job. I was right down the recruitment station that
Okay.
same day. That evening, Recruiter brought me back home and let my mom know that I just joined the military. I'd never seen a woman cry, and I really didn't understand why she was upset about it. I didn't. I was like, you wanted me to get a job. You wanted me to go out and do something, be
Right.
productive. To me, that's my cousins, close cousins that served in the military. I come from a military family, not my immediate family, but my cousins, my uncles,
Relatives
away
and such.
from
Yeah.
my dad. All of them served. And they kind of put that needle in me in that when my parents told me you better get out and get a job, first thing I thought about was the recruitment station. I joined, I came home, I saw my mom, I saw her disappointment, like I'd made a mistake. But I knew
Mm.
I needed this. I wanted to do this. This was mine. I made this decision. And back
Okay.
then you had the selective service where you had to go to the post office. You had to fill out your paperwork. And if you were lucky, you would get drafted if anything wasn't going on. But that's what we had going on back then, selective service. And 83, I signed up for the military. It was under the delayed entry program. No sooner than I graduated high school, I was off to Richmond, Virginia, the MEP station. Got down there, processed, took the oath, and next thing I know, we were on our way to Fort Jackson, South Carolina, basic training, New Hollywood. And I knew the first 2 weeks, all it is a mental the first 2 weeks. And I knew I was bigger and better than that.
Yeah.
I didn't know how much more that would play into my life today at the will and determination that I have to succeed and not to give up. Because, like I tell people, you see the Sam that's there now. But when I'm home, there's a whole nother side no one knows about. When all the friends are gone and everybody's gone their way, people don't understand what we go through when we close that door and the
Yeah.
outside world is still outside. I got to deal with this inside, and I got to deal with what's going through my head to keep me straight. Uncle Sam basic training, oh my God, best thing for me, even though I got in trouble. My first night at my duty station, I got a couple of guys and we did a recon of the girls' station where they were sleeping. We were looking for the booty. And that was some wild shit I did back then. It's like I think about some of the stuff I did, but it was some of the best time of my life. I
Yeah.
went through basic training. I got in trouble. I went to CFF, which was their correctional facility, because we
Okay.
got caught gambling. Boy, what the fuck am I supposed to do with $600? Everybody got cash. Man, let's go in here and gamble. The motherfucker got us caught up. But we were so good. We were the third herd. Bravo. And I'm telling you, it's something about when you put that uniform on, you do your boots, and y'all are in unison.
Yes, sir.
Woo! That's some bad shit. And come graduation, you got all the families out there, different units marching, parade. stepping, sounding off. Third, heard, we're rough, we're tough, we don't take no stuff. Man, I miss that. But at the same time, my sergeants, I had some great sergeants, drill sergeants. Drill Sergeant Satterwhite, Drill Sergeant Pallier. And we had this one drill sergeant, she was a female, eyes always say red. We call her Mother Hubbard because she scared us that much. And I know the first time I got off that cattle bus, boy, who are you grinning at? Drop! All I could do was smile.
Oh, I lost you.
And it didn't. It made me stronger.
There you are.
It made
You're
me
back.
more resolved.
Hey, Wheelzz, I lost you there for a minute.
Oh, shit.
Your camera went out and I lost you there for a bit, but no, you're back.
We can go
rewind
back.
Where you were. Yeah, you were talking about the drill sergeant, the female drill sergeant. She was yelling at you, and that's when it cut out.
Mother Hubbard. That was her name.
Mother Hubbard. Yep.
Yeah. Bloodshot eyes. Oh my God. Shit. We were hard headed. 4:00 in the morning in a rainstorm. We out there doing calisthenics because we don't want to go to sleep. Okay, y'all want to be up? Let's be up. Out there doing calisthenics with your weapon. Yeah. You'll go to sleep tomorrow, won't you? Yes, ma'am. Yes, drill sergeant. And to the friends that I made, we had this one guy, he was from Chicago. This brother couldn't march straight if you put pins and needles on it. He couldn't even wear his cap straight. And they stayed on his ass. But he graduated.
Yep.
My drill sergeants told me about, because I went in as a 91 Alpha, which is a combat medic. And he told me about Fort Sam Houston. They were telling me about the women. And hell, the first time I really got into drinking was at basic training at the USO club. That's what they stick in our hands. And people like, yeah, you want a soda? Ain't no damn sodas there. It's beer. Yeah. What you drinking? And but the graduation.
How are you getting into the USO club in basic?
Excuse me, drill sergeant was taking us.
Oh
the whole unit. The whole unit.
Okay.
Yes. We at the USO club, the USO, the meeting place with the flag and all of that. We drinking beer. Ain't no sodas. Ain't no Sprites. It was beer. And it didn't change anything because when that test came, when that final day of testing came, when you had to go through everything, including that, oh my God, the motherfucking gas chamber.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy, man, please. I couldn't be a criminal. No sooner motherfuckers say I'm shooting tear gas in there, I'm running my ass out the house because I know it's about to happen. We ain't doing that again. But graduating, knowing you graduated, man, that's when I knew I had a wheel. If a drill sergeant can't break me, being poor didn't break me, I'm a bad motherfucker. But it didn't really kick in till I got to Fort Sam Houston, party, women, party. That's what Fort Sam Houston was known for, partying. I got caught doing all kinds of shit I shouldn't have been doing, including screwing in the back of the NCO club. Motherfuckers rolled right up on us. I ain't get in trouble. Just say pull your pants up and get back to your unit. Really? Okay, my bad. I like this. Hey, let me do this. Let's do this. But it's like the courses, the classes, that was some of the most they were intense and in a short period of time. You were taught to do things that RNs and doctors do now.
Yeah.
You already taught to do in like 8 weeks, 10 weeks. And then you go to your duty station. Well, I was in charge of everybody on my flight going to Fort Sam Houston. Graduated Fort Sam Houston and found out I was coming to Germany. I was like, wow. And my cousins had always told me because they had pictures of their girlfriends in Germany, the whole 9 yards. So that was my first duty station that I chose was Germany. And then it was Hawaii. But Germany came up. I was happy, but I didn't know how happy I was going to be until I got there. Got there, got to the Frankfurt MEP station, Frankfurt, Germany. Went over to the club and we were drinking the Edda beer. It's EDER. It's kind of like piss water beer for Americans. But over there, put you on your ass. I know I was in the club drinking. The next morning, I was still in uniform in bed. Don't know how I got there. I was stationed out at the 23rd Engineer Battalion the next day, where I was picked up by 2 sergeants, Rob McCaffrey, and I think it was, other guy was Logan, Tim Logan. That's why I was first introduced to hashies. No sooner they picked me up in an RX-7, a 3-seater. I was in the back, them 2 were in the front, smoking, passing the pipe. I ain't question it. I knew you had to get along to get along. So I did what they did. They were my superiors. But then when I got to the battalion and met Staff Sergeant Cole, who was in charge of the medics, the man was doing coke right there in his room with other sergeants. And no sooner I came in and was introduced, first thing I would do was hit a line. I hit that line. Maybe that's what started all of this. But it's like every day at 6:00 in the morning, it didn't matter. I could stay out all night partying, drinking, getting high. And I could still come back in the morning at PT at 6:00 in the morning and outdo half the people that stayed on the concern that didn't do anything. They're struggling and I'm still moving ahead. And I'm like, damn, I'm experiencing the German life. German people love Americans. Anybody tell you different is a lie. It doesn't matter. Once they know you're an American, they want to invite you over for drinks. They have you come into their restaurant if they have one after hours. They're not trying to hurt anybody. And when I served in Germany, I went over as a private. The only thing close to a war we saw was an alert for the Grenada invasion. We were on alert for that. Other than that, hell, you're being chauffeured around in Mercedes-Benz, BMWs. You can drive as fast as you want on the interstate. There's no interstate over there, the Autobahn. And I was a young black man on my own to a whole different world. There was everything from the black market for the commissary goods to going downtown, trading favors for sex. Let's keep it real. Uncle Sam is not the cleanest person in the world.
Yeah.
And I tell people, don't think we are.
Yep.
But at the same time, I could still maintain I did my job. I could take care of my soldiers. I wasn't a danger on the job because none of that was there doing field training, field outings where you're out weeks at a time. Winter games, you're out for 2 weeks in the dead of winter. No, the only thing concerned me then is keeping the soldiers healthy, keeping them safe. Medics, mechanics, kitchen, and S4. I don't care who else you mess with when you go to the field. You don't fuck with them for. You don't mess with them. That's a
Yeah.
cardinal sin right there. But the thing I did love about it, and I will never forget this, when your headquarters, you come in as Private Johnson, but when you're accepted by the unit, by the different units that's in that battalion, and they call you Doc.
Yeah.
Ooh, man. There's nothing like it in the world.
Nope.
I'm in charge of morphine, all kinds of narcotic drugs. I'm not having to sign for anything. We have been entrusted with this. They know what we take out, they know what we should bring back. I'm doing procedures that doctors are doing now that went to school for 8 years. They teach you how to do that in a matter of months.
Yeah.
But it ain't nothing like that name. We want Doc Johnson. And before you
Can I
know it,
interrupt you for a minute there? I want to
go ahead.
talk on that for a bit. I know that impact when I served in Fort Lewis, when I received my training injury, we had our doc, and I know exactly what you're talking about. I can't for the life of me remember what his last name was. We just called him Doc. It was
Yeah,
Doc.
that was it.
And like you said, those different divisions that you just don't mess with. Ours was, our medics, our comms, and your mechanics, your
Yeah,
food supply,
yeah.
you know.
You do not.
But Doc was a great guy, and when I got injured, he was the one right there at my side, and so I understand that impact and that relationship very well between the soldier and their combat medic.
Yeah.
It's powerful, and those relationships stay with you. Before we
Oh,
go
yeah.
on, I got a couple more questions around that while we're here to pause. Tell us about why you joined, or what made you decide to be a combat medic? Was that something you chose, or was that just what was placed upon you? Talk to us about the decisions around becoming a combat medic.
Believe it or not, that was determined by what they used to give you your MOSs by some kind of ASVAB test.
Okay.
And mine came back top as a combat medic.
Okay.
And I was curious about that. And I'm like, okay, I'll do that. I'll do that. I didn't know anything medically before none of this, but in school, what we were taught in school.
Okay.
But it's like, once I got there, once the drill sergeants knew what your MOS in and gave you some insight, informed you about your schooling, where you'd be going, I was like, I can do this. And they told me it's nothing like being called Doc.
Yeah.
Trust me. They trust you with their lives when they call you Doc.
Yep.
I'll never forget that. And it's like, oh yeah, I got the right MOS. And then when I actually, was out there with soldiers that got hurt, even civilians, I saw a civilian from my window. We talking less than maybe 60 feet from the street. I'm watching a guy, drunk as a skunk. I'm watching him. And I'm telling the guys in the window with me while we're partying, he's getting ready to get hit. And no sooner than I said hit, you saw him somersault in the air.
Wow.
I'm talking about we've started drinking like at 9 o'clock in the morning on the weekend and smoking. When that man got hit, everybody lost their high, grabbed their medic bags, and was out there on the street. He didn't have number 23rd Engineer Battalion headquarter medics working on him in the street, and he was fucked up.
Wow.
Brain injury, 2 fractured legs that were folded all the way in the back. Well, it didn't stop us from doing our job. Everything else was gone. It was about taking care of him. He wasn't a soldier, he was a civilian. But it didn't matter.
It's that instinct.
We are trained for this.
Yep.
We got him stabilized, in the German ambulance and police and all of them showed up and everything. We had the IV started. We had him situated. We had his fractures in the fracture cast, plastic cast we had at the time. And it's like things like that, you know, when I say Germany, that takes me back to that scene, because that was just, I'd seen and heard of things like that, but to actually see it, and you're seeing it right in the middle of a street, is different. It's something you don't forget. That's why I'm impressed with these firemen, and these detectives, these policemen that actually see real horrors.
Yeah.
We dealing with mental shit now, but guess what? They dealing with it every day.
Yep.
Who's helping them? I couldn't imagine doing that job. I can't. I couldn't. But taking care of somebody, being there for a soldier, being there for a brother, letting a man know he's not by himself, you can't buy that.
Amen. What does a good Army medic understand about soldiers that leaders sometimes miss?
The empathy part, I can see and know what's going on with you, but your superior might be thinking such and such. And I love this. I'm a private, but I'm your medic. So whatever I put on the slip, you have to listen to, Commander. And guess what? They did. If I saw a soldier that was being abused or needed 24 hours or 48 hours of rest, that's what the fuck I prescribed for him. 24 hours field rest in his bunk, feet up. Because some of these soldiers, they're not really built for that type of weather, but when it hits, they need to know they have someone that's looking out for their best interest. Because people don't understand, a winter in Germany is nothing like a winter in the States. Don't even come close to it. And my job is to keep you safe. Doesn't matter. My job is to let them know that I see you, I understand you, and I know what you're going through firsthand. You're a commander. You looking from a nice, warm, cozy spot. Your tent's well heated. You got everything at home. They don't.
Yeah.
And the thing about me is, this is what real leadership looks like. I went over as a private, and in less than a year and a half coming back to the States, I was on the E5 list. That's because of what I presented, who I presented, and how I presented it when I was at work. And after 5 o'clock, NCO club. Every day. With your superiors, with your subordinates. We shutting the canteen down. Every damn night. Do we go in as alcoholics and drug abusers? Nope. But guess what? Let's keep it real. Uncle Sam helps make us. And then they kick us out the door and think they wash their hands of them until something happens and it comes back to bite them in their asses. But you had this opportunity. If I'd have known what I knew now before I came back to the States, I wouldn't have never left Germany. I wouldn't have. Because when I came to the States, that's when all hell broke loose. At Madigan Army Medical Center, all hell broke loose when I got there. Because there, it wasn't about you being a soldier. It was about who you know and what have you done for me lately. And I found that out firsthand, up close and personal. Because the first thing out my mouth to my commanding captain and my first sergeant was, I don't kiss ass. I don't. That was exactly what I said to them. Top, cap, I don't kiss ass. I'm not a yes man. And from that day forth, we had a problem. Work-wise, fine and dandy. It was after work. Every weekend having a party. Every weekend finding a reason to have a party. Who in their right mind every weekend gets wasted in their barracks and tear the fucking barracks up where you living? Your first sergeant, your CO come through, they're not even trying to hold you accountable. Get this shit cleaned up is all they want to know. Their way of counseling you. You know you're a good soldier. You know better than to stop. That's counseling. What have you counseled me for? What have you really done for me? You have a bias about me. For one, I speak my mind. Two, you have a racially bias about me because I only date white women. And you see all these pretty white girls that come up in the barracks and asking for Private Johnson. Get over that shit. But then again, we go back to the partying every weekend, every damn day near. If you're not drinking in your barracks, in your room, you having a barbecue in the back of the barracks and drinking. It was it was an everyday norm for us to drink. And then just like this shit happens, and it happened. I met this specialist, light-skinned brother, cool, built, athletic, could speak. And got with him one night, and he said, just try it. First introduction to crack cocaine. Tried it, liked it. This man tripped for a whole night. I'm looking at the road. Ain't shit coming, ain't shit going. We the only thing here in the middle of the night. But he see a car behind us. Hey, don't look back. Don't look back. What the fuck you talking about? Ain't nobody behind us. Hey, you see that car? What car? Oh my Lord. But yet I still got high with it. Until I made the dreadful mistake of getting high for a whole weekend, going back, assaulting a bank president because they done stole my money. And finally, after they Called my first sergeant, CO, the whole 9 yards, and played the videotapes back of me making constant every like 15, 20 fucking minutes, coming back and hitting money out the bank teller. $5,000 gone. Just like that. But you don't see I have a problem. Then it gets real interesting. First, you have a mother that comes on post that says you made lewd and sexual lascivious comments to her 14-year-old daughter. Get the fuck out of here. You have lost your mind. And I'm looking at the report with my sergeant and CO and the police, military police. Okay, I got a warning. Next instance, I steal from the guys in the barracks. Get caught, get confined to the barracks, lose rank. Next time, I steal a check out of the federal government postal office. Take it and try to get it cashed. Run from the cops. Get caught at a stoplight. Arrested. Charged with attempted forgery. They call it a civilian conviction. I was separated inside of a week with an honorable discharge. Not understanding anything. No one has told me about a VA or what you need to do or where you need to be going once you leave here. So once my separation went through, then the pattern is still going on. The drinking, the drugs, the partying hard, nonstop. But unknowingly, as we get further in the story, you'll see where this comes back to play a big part in the story. I still lived in Washington for about another 20 years. 10, 15, something like that, because I left the state of Washington. I got out in 88. I left in 95 because my dad got hurt. 8 years, 10 years. He got hurt. 95, 96 is when I had my accident, automobile accident, January 1996, a year later. I was involved with the drug ring then, crack cocaine, selling, picking up. I'm not gonna say I was a rabid dog, but there was something wrong with me. It really was. Because I'm packing and I'm doing shit that I know I shouldn't be doing, that I'm doing. The shit I'm doing to people. You going to get these drugs. You don't know these people from Adam and Eve. I'm not even thinking about what could happen to me.
Yeah.
It was like, I saw myself doing this, but yet couldn't stop because of the money. I saw how fast they could make the money inside of less than an hour. You got $5,000. Oh my Lord, this is too easy. But at the same time, that's the trap.
Yeah.
The easiness of it to get involved. The difficult part is getting your ass up out of there. And it's rarely few that get out and come out ahead. Me, I was lucky as hell.
Yeah.
I hit a tree doing 110 miles an hour.
Hey, Wills, I got a couple questions on these topics before we get into the car. So took a couple notes here. Let me back up a minute. Okay, that I got to come back to that question here in a while because I know it's going to come up. But How do you view your military career might have gone had you had some true discipline and accountability?
Oh, 20 years easily. I'd already had in my mind that I was going to do 20 years when I graduated. I was 18. 20 years, I'd be 38, retired,
Yeah.
set, military wise. Already had this in place.
Okay. And then
But
you ended up
unfortunately,
serving. Oh, go
go
ahead.
ahead,
So you ended up serving how many years total before you
5
were
years.
discharged? 5 years. So you had planned on 20, got 5.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead if you had something there you're going to say.
I had planned on 20 years. I saw myself in what I was doing, and no sooner than I got in the military, and no sooner than I saw how fast being in Germany that they looked at the soldier and they looked at you from head to toe, head to toe. There was a dress code, there was a culture in Germany that everybody understood. You stay squared away. And I'm not going to lie to you. As a black man, my uniform stayed sharp, crease, boots, spit shine. You actually saw yourself when I walked. Hat tight, haircut tight, the whole 9 yards. There was no playing with me. And with that Eagle Medical Sign badge on my uniform, hell no, this is who I am. This is what I do. They respect that. You show up. You in front, you got the battalion flag. You running behind the colonel. Your partners know you've been drinking all night. They done felt you got people that didn't go drinking that started drinking, falling by the wayside. But you got Sam Johnson still up there with the battalion flag and ain't fell out of nothing. Refused. That's the way I was. My best friend, Tyrone Solomon. My year and a half, me and this man partied, drank, chased women, did our dirt with the prostitutes. And the prostitutes were college girls now. They weren't old beat down hags. They were fine and doing their book studies. This man turns out to be a fucking serial rapist. They got wanted posters, and I know I saw him. And now that I look back on it, it looked like him. But then when I'm right there watching it, who the fuck is that? We get back from a field unit. He's arrested immediately. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Oh, your boy's a serial rapist, man. He's been attacking cab women the whole 9 yards for a whole month and a half. I'm talking about we had dates when we were supposed to get together. This man never showed up, but we didn't put two and two together till after they actually arrested him. And I went and saw my partner. I'm like, man, you got to tell me this ain't true. And he looked at me and like, Sam, it's true.
Wow.
And then when I had to testify against him, hardest thing in my life to have to go and say, I don't know who he is. I know on these dates we were supposed to get together and didn't ever hear anything from him. And the man had a badass girlfriend, a drop 10. I'm like, if you going to rape and you got something that fine at home, and the women over there treat you like a king, you're a serial rapist. What the fuck? Fuck me up. Literally, still to this day. I'm surprised they didn't try to get me and the other Mark, the other guy involved, saying we were part of your
Accomplices
serial
or something.
raping.
Yeah.
And then find out he got life in Leavenworth. And I tried to find him. I tried to look him up to see if he's still there and stuff. What's going on with him? Because he literally, that court martial and everything, to actually be that involved with a crime that's been all over the news and I don't even know if it ever made it to the States or not. But that was part of the reason I was glad to leave Germany.
Now,
Like I said, go ahead.
were were there was the drugs and drinking scene, was that the same throughout all the different divisions, or was your where you were
Oh
at
yeah.
your specific guys, were you just
Oh,
unique?
every division that was over there in Hanau, Germany, Pioneer, Fliegelhirsch, you had the air patrol unit with all the missiles. Everybody. It
Wow.
was everybody.
Just a toxic
Some were
toxic
just
problem everywhere.
yeah, and the person that leads the troops, they were all senior NCO sergeants, E6s, E7s, sergeant majors. They encouraged all this shit. They didn't discourage nothing. And it's like the guys come back and that's all we did was get high and party. Even when we went out to like field units, when we went to field exercises, and you're going like Vilflicken or Heidelberg, those places like that. And then you're still going out to the clubs and partying. I remember going out and not getting back into the base where we was at until like 3 o'clock in the morning, knowing I got to be up at 6.
Yeah.
But that is our culture. That's how we dealt with whatever the fuck we were dealing with at the time. And it's like any room you went to in the barracks, there was some form of alcohol or drug in there. It just was.
No, I lost you again, Wheelzz. I don't know if you can hear me, but
Yeah.
you're back. There you go. I lost you for just 1 second, but you're back again.
Yeah, evidently these phone calls are popping up and I'm having to kill them.
Oh, okay. No worries.
I thought I had my do not disturb sign on.
No, you're good. All right. Let me go back, find this other question before we move on. All right. 2 other questions before we move on to the crash. What do you wish one NCO or officer or clinician would have said to you while you were
I'm going
still
to
in the
get you help.
military?
I'm going to get you help. Instead of saying that I'm a detriment, I wouldn't make a good rehabilitative soldier. When I was I was an exemplary soldier when I left Germany. And it's in my file that says he's an exemplary soldier. All you had to do was say, I'll help you.
When did you
But just to throw me to the side and then label me as a detriment. I thought I was reliving the movie, the one with what's his name? Tom Cruise as the naval attorney,
Oh,
A Few
yes,
Good Men.
Few Good Men. Yeah.
And when they talked about grave danger, and is there any other? Well, if he's in such grave danger, why was his uniforms and stuff still dressed and in his closet?
Yeah.
If you saying I was a detriment and unrehabilitative, and you sign your name to these statements, you said mentally I am there by a psychologist that should have recognized he's a drug and alcoholic abuser. Because that's the first thing they got on my paperwork, on my military file. Samuel A. Johnson Jr. is a drug and alcohol abuser. And you're going to say my mental capacity was normal?
Yeah.
But you give me an honorable discharge. No, your guilty conscience played a factor in all of this that has happened. You saw this happening down the road, and I didn't. That's why I got the honorable discharge. Because if you look at all my other charges, you could have sneezed and put me out
Yeah.
without even raising a finger or a thought. And you didn't. You just let it go on and on. And then you let it go on so much, it doesn't actually rear its head until 1996.
Okay. Take us back to 1996.
January 1996. It was me, it was Duke, and it was my cousin. We were going to New York to pick up our supply of crack cocaine. We were smoking, we were drinking. I remember us going there. I remember us going to different houses. I remember us partying, got our dope. I don't remember us getting back on the road. I don't remember us leaving New York City. But somehow or another, I was behind the wheel from Manhattan, New York City, down a quarter I-95 south, all the way to Richmond, Virginia, before I crashed and burned. Now, there are toll booths and there are state troopers all up and down I-95, especially that quarter. No one noticed?
Wow.
You're talking hundreds of miles. No one noticed? Until finally I wrapped the car literally around an oak tree. And I'm having a conversation with a trooper that I don't even remember. Next thing I remember, being in a coma, on life support, and I had nightmares that had to do with the criminal life that I'd led up to this very point in my nightmares. There was no white light. There was none of that shit. Everything had to do with horror, had to do with conniving, hustling, conning people. Everything it had to do with drugs, something to do with breaking the law. And it wasn't small things, but they were just things that were accumulating on top of each other. And then finally, one day I woke up. I woke up really, I woke up to a motherfucker coming down a rope with a knife in his mouth.
Oh my God.
That's when I woke up out of my coma. That's when I woke up. And I still remember my nightmares as if they were yesterday, last night. I had the outer body experience. I actually saw myself looking down in my bed at me taking bandages off at a certain time every night until finally they had to tie my hands down to protect myself from myself. I saw God. I saw my guardian angel. I saw the devil. He was there with me through this whole time. But God said, as long as I'm here, he will not touch you. And to come to find out, when I came out of my coma, this is how God works. The first thing he put on my heart was to get my parents and let them know this was not your fault. Not at all. Please don't take this as your fault. I did this to myself. God was speaking to me and I still refused to listen. And this one verse kept playing over in my head that God will leave us to our carnal mind until he needs to step in. Paraphrasing. But that's what happened. That's why I didn't die. My guardian angel was actually the RN nurse that was taking care of me at night and praying over me with my mom. This lady was wondering why I was staring at her so much, why I was staring at her so hard. And I had to tell her, you were with me when I was in my darkest days, when I was in my coma. You were right there with me. Everything about me changed as far as emotional standpoint of how I saw things and looked at life and looked at individuals. Because I was a little arrogant motherfucker. When I had my legs, you couldn't tell me shit. Couldn't tell me a thing. It's like I chose what type of women I wanted to be with. I had a style about me and no one could take it from me. But after being paralyzed, doctor walking in your room, he walked in my room, said, Mr. Johnson, you'll never walk again, and walked the hell out.
Oh, I lost you again.
Well, yeah, this
You're
one
good. Take
girl,
your time.
yeah, he walked the right hell out the room. I've never cried so much in my life. I cried and called my mama and told her what the doctor had said, how he said it, how he put it. And my mom is, boy, if you were to meet my mom, she is the spirit of the earth. It doesn't matter what's going on or who's being mean. She continues to do God's will with people, regardless of how we feel about them. But that lady, she is truly my godsend. She is the one thing that while I was out here in this world, my mom and me not even knowing was the anchor that kept me from drowning. She kept me steady in the storms because I was in a hell of a lot of them. And she was always there.
All right. I just had a thought that came to mind.
Shoot.
And I'm curious about prior to, so you're in this coma going through this whole, I don't even know how to reword it. You're going through this agonizing hell in your coma and you're having this experience with God. You come out, you're understanding that relationship between your nurse being there with you. Prior to this experience, what was your relationship like with God?
Didn't have one.
Okay. Fascinating.
Didn't even think about it. When I left my mom's house to delve into the drug world, let's just call it what it was,
Yeah.
God was nowhere in the picture.
This is even
That's
after
what.
waking up out of the coma. You went through that experience, and even afterwards, nothing clicked.
No, everything clicked after that.
Oh, after. Okay.
Everything.
Okay.
I was my emotional understanding of what I just been through and what God does made me realize that this man has changed me. Regardless, horrific circumstances, he physically and mentally changed me. I accepted the fact that I might not ever walk again. I accepted that. But the part he put on me was in a physical and emotional, of family, caring, having a heart. Because, like I said, I was an arrogant little ass when I was walking and talking. To see someone to be a fucking protector, to be in that spot where those that can't do for themselves, you got someone that's standing in place for you. Like I said, family is everything to me. Literally. Even my family, even after coming from the hospital, the ridicule, the being made fun of. I went through that shit.
Yeah.
And this was from family members. They don't understand what the fuck they were doing to me.
Yeah.
Being at home, having to go back home, live with your grown parents and your grown relatives that have to take care of you, clean, wipe you, change you. Because guess what? Fucking hospital ain't teaching them that.
Yeah.
Your family is not in there with your rehab. It's you and your rehab and your doctors. Don't nobody tell a family, well, this is what you're going to run into when you get home. No, it's fucking trial and error and it's fucking hell. It got so bad that if I knew I was about to have an accident, I would hop onto the floor and get my ass to the bathroom best way I could. Because I hated my parents having to come and clean a grown 30-some-year-old man up like he's a damn 3-year-old.
That's hard.
Family, as much as I was hurt by my family, the one thing that still burned in me, I didn't die. I had one burning question that I finally asked my mom and got to a point where I was comfortable enough to ask her, Mama, at any time did you and Daddy just think about just pulling the plug? And she looked at me with a look that's like, boy, you done lost your damn mind. No. No.
Yeah.
Even not knowing that I had active EEG waves going on. She was like, no, that was never a thought. Because that's what they asked him every morning in that meeting with my parents, with the doctors. Do you want to pull the plug? And she didn't give it a second thought to say, no, not happening, not on my watch. That's my anchor.
Yeah.
That was my connection to God right there. Because my mom is such a God-fearing woman. Without her prayers, without her connection with God, I would have probably been dead 20, 30 years ago.
Okay.
And it got so bad at home that I felt like I was becoming a burden to my parents. I was feeling like they couldn't enjoy their lives because they were taking care of their grown son, having to get the house redone, ramp put in, loading and unloading me in the van, carrying me.
Yeah.
That shit weighed on me for 7 years. I became a recluse. That's when I first learned about the internet and everything. And I would just stay in my room for all day. I would only come out to eat, then I go right back in my room the rest of the day. That was my routine. Eat, bedroom, bathroom, eat, bathroom, bedroom. That was it for 7 years until I just finally got tired of it. And I had $2,000 to my name. I got on a bus and left home. Just up and left.
Didn't tell your
With the
parents
clothes.
nothing.
Nope. Didn't tell a soul. Just up and left.
Damn.
And wound up in Kalamazoo, Michigan. a place that I always heard on TV, and I'm like, hell no, don't no place exists like that. And come find out, Kalamazoo, Michigan, here I come.
Want to hear a crazy connection with Kalamazoo? I
Yeah,
have I have a great Bronson ancestor who settled Kalamazoo.
get out of here.
Titus Bronson.
Oh my goodness.
That
Look
is my
at
great
you in
ancestor.
Kalamazoo.
That's right.
Wow. uh, I got there and I didn't know what the hell I was going to do. I didn't have an idea what the hell I was about to do. All I know is I need to find a place to stay. Uh, Stayed in a little cockroach motel, and I mean, it was cockroaches to the point. Finally, the money didn't last forever. Like I thought it was going to last forever, get me situated. Next thing you know, I was broke, homeless, but I wasn't calling home to have my parents send me a damn thing. Was not doing that. Got
Had
on the
you
local
called them to
phone.
even let them know where you were? This still they have your MIA
Yeah,
to them.
yeah. When I got my phone situated, I called and told them I
Okay.
was living in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Uh,
Okay.
I kept in touch with them while I was there. My parents and them didn't know I was homeless for 5
Okay.
years.
Wow.
Uh,
Holy
I
shit.
stayed in a shelter, Kalamazoo Gospel Mission, down by the Amtrak station. Uh, I was homeless off and on for 5 years. I met people that had lived in the shelter for 20 plus years and call it home.
Wow.
You have to be in by 10 o'clock at night and out by 6 o'clock every day. Yeah, they have little odds and look like it's almost like jail. They have trustees that they can stay in the barracks. They can stay inside the gospel mission and do these odd jobs and don't have to be out in the elements like everyone else. But hell, I was like, I'm not doing it. Fuck that. I was getting disability at the time. I was boosting. I was stealing my ass off. Trust me on that. I was homeless, but I was a sharp homeless dressing motherfucker and had a vehicle all the time. And nobody was the wiser. I, I'm going to all kinds of places and boosting shit just to keep my income up because I didn't feel like it was enough.
Wow.
And you'll be amazed at how people don't look at people. I was never looked at as a threat to any of those businesses. Yet I was robbing them blind, coming and going every few days in the week, hitting 6 different businesses.
Wow.
Got so much motherfucking clothes, sneakers, Nikes. I used to go to Kohl's and snip the electrical alarm they would have on their Nikes and then take the shoes and put them in my backpack. Go sell them. Take orders. But all that was just a status to state that I refuse to be down here with you all.
Okay.
Being locked up, I was in shit. I was locked up for publishing and uttering, cashing forged checks, uh, retail fraud, shoplifting, the whole 9 yards. Finally, I went to. This is how God works. I went to Kohl's, and there was a gentleman right beside me, and I knew he was security. I knew this because he was looking at the same stuff I was looking at, but he really wasn't moving. I knew he was security. So he goes around the corner. I go around the opposite corner, make the hit and lick, and haul ass. It ain't 5 minutes. He's out in the parking lot looking for me. He didn't see me. He didn't see what vehicle I got in. And I rolled out and I was like, Sunday. I go to Red Robin's with my girl to treat her. Who do you think we meet in the restaurant as I'm rolling in? That same damn security guard.
Oh, hell.
Monday morning, I had county sheriffs at my door going through my closet. It's time to retire altogether now. I went downtown, turned myself in for retail fraud, publishing and uttering, and they were like, "We can give you 7 months in county jail, and you can come out with no paper, or we can put you out on paper, supervise." Nah, fuck that. Give me the 7 months. Because when I leave here, ain't no paper gonna be on my ass. I'm not gonna be that person. Because I've seen for the 5 years, I've seen this. Being in the probation officer, seeing the guys that come check in, the ones that you fuck up for dumb reasons. Really? But nah. And 2007, when I stopped everything, 2009, stopped everything. Just stop.
Cold
Stop.
turkey. It's over. Time to change.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Because I'd always said that I would never, never be them people down there. There's no way I'm calling a church home. There's no way grown men with the money that they were getting from their disability checks, they could have easily had their own places. To see so many young people at a gospel mission, they're young, homeless, and pregnant, but refuse to stay in the mission to follow the rules and refuse to go home because they didn't like their parents. And it was crazy seeing this every day. It was almost like watching South Africa and the documentary on the animals, the lions and shit, the migration. These people migrated to one spot and then migrated right back, with McDonald's and the train station being in the middle. That was it. Hell no. I would get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, go to school at Olympia Career Training Institute, is what it was called when I went there. And I did that for a year and a half just to get a medical assistant, because I'm not, oh, hell no. No, I'm better than this.
Okay.
All you have done is just encourage me to continue to strive to be better. And even though I might have been boosted, I was still going to church. And I tell people, it's not about all your action. God looks at our heart. And what you all don't see is God knows I have a good heart. As much as I might be fucking up, that boy still has a good heart, and he has a heart for God. I just turned 62. I never saw 62 in my life. Never saw fucking 50, much less 40.
Wow.
This was never seen. I'm a homeowner. I own a 4-bedroom, 3-bath home with a 2-car garage. Own it. It's mine. This comes from being homeless. Yes, for the longest, like I said, I did not know I had benefits until 2016. From 88 all the way up to 2016, I was on regular Medicaid. Didn't know shit about benefits. I was seeing civilian doctors, civilian specialists at what they call family health centers for the impoverished. 2016, a friend took me to Battle Creek, Michigan, and got me registered. Found out I had benefits. When they diagnosed me with my PTSD, they also diagnosed that the motor vehicle accident, and here's the coup de grace, the motor vehicle accident was due to the drugs and alcohol that was service connected on my paperwork. When I saw that shit right there, fucking nah, we ain't doing this. I got my military records. I'm like, what the fuck are they talking about? And on my very first page of opening that folder, it says Samuel A. Johnson Jr. is a drug and alcohol abuse. All this time they knew. There's no getting around that shit. I don't care who they are or what people are saying. They knew. But instead of helping, let's help tear this man down completely. Making statements like I'm a detriment to the United States Army and to its people. I'm unrehabilitated because of your bias you have against me for numerous reasons. Drug and alcohol abuser. Why the fuck do I have an honorable discharge? Make that shit make sense, Sterling, because it doesn't.
Yeah.
I have done everything under the moon that you can sneeze about to kick me the fuck out with a dishonorable discharge and be done with me. But you let it get all the way to a fucking civilian conviction on the government, robbing a government building. Really, that's what we doing now? I'm that bad of a person that you can still give me an honorable fucking discharge? But we ain't gonna tell him anything about it. Because eventually they already know. If he don't know, and I know what they were thinking, damn what they want to say, oh, this motherfucker be dead soon. Exactly what the fuck they were thinking. Let's give him the honorable we're gonna give him the honorable discharge, but that's your guilty conscience giving me the honorable discharge when you could have got rid of me with the first complaint. And then I see all of these statements you're making and signing your name to the mental capacity is normal. This person's unrehabilitated. He's not worth my time. We don't think he would be a productive soldier. Bitch, you ain't even tried. You got a bias and prejudice against me because I date white women. And you see them coming through the barracks. Get the fuck over that shit. We can date if you want to. It's not that big of an issue. But you hold that against me when you know I am in trouble. Where is your duty or your dereliction in duty in protecting me? Because it's my first sergeant and fucking captain. It's your duty to protect the soldier if he's in trouble. You're that lifeline that protects them. I didn't have a lifeline. I didn't have a thought. All I had was judgment, ridicule, the disrespect, prejudice, bias. All that shit was running rampant back there in 83, 84, all that shit. Especially in the military. And especially when you got a white CO who's a female, hot, but could be a dyke too at the time. And you got a fat, pudgy CO that's telling you, bitch, why don't you go take your fat ass to a gym somewhere? Talking about a run. I run circles around your fat ass. And he bulging out his uniform. You know how gross that is? I've come from Germany. You don't see no fat, bulging motherfuckers like that. You don't. Even the grunts are in shape. Even the grunts can be in a plain uniform, but you can still, they have a class about them. They still have their personality. Their uniform might not be pressed and with the creases, but guess what? They represent them. They wear that shit proudly. They don't care what nobody think. The only person that they care about the thinks and thing is their fucking commander or their squad leader. We pull PMSs. My life today, I practice the 6 P's. Prior planning prevents piss poor performance. Nobody can tell me anything different than that. That's a cornerstone in my life right there. I think about, I prepare, and my dad's DNA, my mom's DNA, as growing up as a kid and being a little shit and hating the world, everything I do now has their DNA on it. When I take a trip, I make sure that my vehicle is ready to go. Oils changed, tires, all of that. They have my route, which I'm taking. They know I don't do shortcuts. And they crack up when I say well, this black man don't take shortcuts, mama. Motherfucker like, oh yeah, this right here cut off 4 or 5 miles. Oh, that's okay. I'll go to 4 or 5 miles on the straight road. We're not doing that. I ain't taking no wrong turns. But Uncle Sam helped me out so much into the person I am now with my independence, the way I handle business. Do I chew ass? Hell yes. I will chew your ass in a heartbeat if I catch you fucking up. I don't play that. I don't like bullies. And am I afraid of what our future looks like? Yep. You got children out here killing children and can't tell you why they kill them. Our children have become an endangered species, and no one is calling it an epidemic when it is. We speak about our Second Amendment rights and shit. Guess what? No one's trying to take nobody's rights away. You get 20-some kids killed in a mass shooting. When we have hundreds of mass shootings where Europe maybe has 1 or 2, why is Europe always ahead of us? Why are we so gung-ho to hang on to shit that's not beneficial to the overall country? I remember my oath. I stand with my oath. And for all of those that want to play that dumb rule, January 6th fucking happened. It happened. And I'm angry. I'm mad at our veterans, the police that did not stand up, the congressman that cowered in the chamber because they thought they were going to die. There's one line in my oath that I remember and I'll never forget it, and it plays in my heart every day. To protect the United States from all attacks, foreign and domestic. Those words, foreign and domestic. You protect the USA from all attacks, foreign and domestic. Yep. Shit, I've seen Million Men march. Didn't nobody attack nothing down there, and you had 100 million black men. What? How? It's embarrassing. My dad couldn't come home if he was supporting some shit like that told me January 6th really didn't happen. It was a ploy. It's a simple yes or no question. And that's what I put to some of my brothers. Did January 6th happen? Yes or no? Because I hold my veteran friends and close friends accountable as I hold my enemies. Don't call me your friend, brother, if we can't see eye to eye on the same thing. How the hell are you seeing something different?
Yeah.
I saw people attacked and killed. And Sterling, they can say what they want. Let that had been a mob of blacks. That would have been a body count.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been a second thought to put a bullet in them and call them all kinds of terrorists.
Yep.
Look at these people. See how they act? See what they did? Another fucking label for us to have to fight off. I'm just not one to, I'm not conforming to society. Society needs to conform to the community. You see these people getting killed in these neighborhoods, and then you come out in front of the camera and you're like, well, it takes a village to raise a child. Fucking three children have gotten killed, and you know who did it, and you ain't did shit about it. That's not taking care of your community. That's not raising a child. That's being complicit to the demise of the children. Black, white, it doesn't matter. But at the same time, I live in Cleveland. I've never seen so many car chases through black neighborhoods. Who does that? You have the authority to call off a chase. Why the hell would you be going 90, 80 miles through a neighborhood chasing someone? And I found this to be true. A drunk driver is less likely to be injured or killed in a crash than the other people that's in the vehicle that they hit.
Right. Yeah. The body loosens up.
And I'm living proof of that.
Yeah.
And it is fucking disheartening when I look at the news and motherfuckers had 7 OVIs? Who the judge? You need to be fired. You get 1 OVI. Ain't no none of you come in my courtroom for a second one? Oh, you can get ready to do 30 days. And you're gonna do the whole 30 days. Shit's just crazy. But I might have got off subject a little bit.
I want to take it back to when you hit that wall, or when you hit that. I want to take it back to when you came to that realization that things are over, and you need to get that rehabilitation, and then as well as getting that diagnosis from the VA that it's service connected. How did that impact your world? What changed now that you've got a label, something that, a paper trail that says, hey, here is the verifiable proof of what happened to you. We're putting it down as service connected. Get your help. Talk us through your recovery now.
Recovery. Well, Angie got me registered. She talked me into seeing a psychiatrist, mental health. I've been on trazodone, prazosin. There's a trazodone, prazosin, sertraline. Anyway, I'm taking stuff for insomnia, depression, anxiety. I've been on that regimen since 2016. It's worked for me. I've been, well, like here in the last couple of months, I've started back with my mental health because of something else different with the VA. But when she got me, and when she talked me into that, I listened to her and actually saw the help that I was getting. I've been on a stable course right now. Um, like I said, when I came out of my coma, I'd already put in my mind that if I had to be in this wheelchair, and don't get me wrong, when came out of my coma, they stuck me into a very aggressive psychological rehab at
Okay.
VCU Hospital in Richmond. It was called North One Rehab. Nothing but newly spinal cord injury patients. I had an opportunity to get that out, to express myself, what had happened to me, what it made me feel like, how it made me feel. And to know that all they wanted to do was help you get better and get back to some normalcy of your life that you had. Me, I was pushing it. They it was times that they had to bring pain med morphine straight to the rehab unit. I was pushing it that bad that I would cause pain to myself. Uh, being in the chair, it's life. Uh, I consider it a double-edged sword because I think about where I could be and where I am now. Granted, I'm at 100%. I have this and I have all of these different avenues now that I can go to and get stuff, need stuff done, can get it done. But at the same time, what does it cost you to have that?
Yeah.
Well, it cost me my legs. It cost me these other medical problems that I never had before. Because accident, I lost my spleen, lost my gallbladder, 90% of my large intestine. Like I said, I crushed everything from the waist down, so I'm titanium all the way down to my ankles. Uh, shoot. That's what people don't understand. We deal with this shit. We look at our injuries and it takes us back. Uh, to say it doesn't is a lie. It
Yeah.
does. It takes us back. They have this thing they call mental health month. I've never seen them actually talk to somebody that seriously has a mental health problem. Here, let me introduce you to a couple of these veterans. If you want to know about mental health, uncovered, realistic mental health, let's talk to a veteran.
Yeah.
Talk to a Vietnam veteran. Or better yet, go talk to that 19-year-old that just lost his legs about
You know,
mental illness.
I brought it up on some of my past interviews. You see it in the civilian world when you see a disabled veteran. Often the civilians think it was combat related. It's just where the mind goes.
Yep.
Even with myself, every time I tell someone, "Oh, I blew out my ankles, I had to have reconstructive surgery." Oh, what war was it? Where we? It wasn't in service. Mine was a training accident, getting ready to go. People don't realize the many levels in which veterans sustain injuries, and there is a very, very, very small percentage that is combat related.
Yep.
So much of, and it's not those injuries of combat. And when I mean combat related, I mean, it's not, oh, I lost my ankles in combat. I blew them out in a combat mission. It's stories of you. I suffered an
Exactly.
alcohol and addiction issue that later led to an automobile accident. It's Johnny Scoville, who 20, 30 years after he's out of the military, he's dealing with alcoholism. and depression and all this stuff that's going through his life, the real world things that, you know, we struggle with, you know,
And
and
they don't understand real world shit mixed with the military shit we dealing with. We're dealing with 3 times of what the shit you're dealing with. You don't even know what a mental case is like.
yeah. Well, and you
When you
said it
got
in the
civilians that talk to you and don't even know you, you can hear it in their tone of voice, the way they talk to you. They don't, they talk at you.
it's very clinical.
And it's like, now I don't go asking for shit, I demand. My health, my health is the most important thing to me. And when you endanger my health, you, I can understand what I did. But when somebody else endangered my life that I trust with my life, we got a problem.
And it's impactful. It scars you.
And they don't know how bad it does scars. And they wonder why motherfuckers put bullets in our heads, put bullets by guns in our mouths. Because a motherfucker does not know. You are, half the time it's probably something from the civilian world that triggered them, that pushed them over the edge because a motherfucker don't want to listen. I live in Cleveland. I'm going to be honest with you. They do not like veterans. I've seen it firsthand. I've been at the grocery store. Do you think a motherfucker even come to my door or to help me out of my truck or even ask? They look and keep the fuck going. Ain't giving it a second thought. All of these businesses, everything that's being built up, especially hotels, they don't see people in wheelchairs. They see able bodies. And they don't understand. These people in chairs are coming and doing more vacationing than your able bodies. But you don't have room. You can't even show them an evacuation procedure for a person in a wheelchair because they don't have them. This is the shit that pisses me off. Because you should be thinking about them first and foremost. Do they? No. Are they? No. Everybody is out for their damn selves, and it's sickening. It is utterly sickening to see where our country came from and where we're headed to. Because it's hard to see the light before the forest really here lately. That's why I stay active, I stay busy, I stay engaged. I get involved with shit I don't even like, but I get involved because someone needs to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm that person. I don't care about your feelings. I'm not here for your feelings. You know why rehabs don't work? Because motherfuckers are not honest with themselves. And they damn sure not honest with their clinical.
Yeah.
Me and my counselor was talking about that. I told her, rehabs don't work. Rehab programs don't work because they are not there because they want help. They are there because it's either this or something more worse, or the court's been put on.
There's a different mindset when you realize exactly what you're saying, where I need it's mental health. It's that it is. It comes down to the mental health, men's health, women's health. It's that personal health of realizing, getting to that point in your life where you realize this is not who I am. This is not where I want to be. I need to be a part of something bigger than me. It comes back to what we learn in the military, that camaraderie, that when I am engaging at a level of the elites and I am a part of a mission that's greater than me, that self-actualization within our souls, that's That's what we're bred to. That's where we belong. And when we can find that through whatever outlet it is, and we'll get into here, I want to talk more about kind of one of your outlets, but that's one thing that I have found extremely profound in the VA adaptive sports and some of these programs that Brad Howe gets into, that
man.
it changes people's lives. It gives them the perspectives, and it gives them that outlet of brothers and sisters surrounding them that understand what everyone's going through. You might have not have been there. You haven't worn those boots, but you've got a little bit better perspective of the dark places they go because you've been there yourself, just in a different, world. But when you can get in there and you get these people that are willing to say, like you said, I'm going to sit down and tell you my story unapologetically because this is who I am and it's made me here. And there's a reason I'm still here. And it's in spite of what I was before, because I have made that decision to transform, to change, to choose a different me. All right. So before we get into the story of how Wheelzz came about, reading up on your story and kind of going through the past few episodes of guests I've had on and engaging with some of the military veterans and stuff within my circle, I see this ethos and this form of branding. In the military, we love patches. We love coins. We love RCOMs. We love that. We love that recognition of our eliteness. In truth, that's what the military is. We are trained elite minds and soldiers. We are the elite. In the civilian world, you can compare it to the Olympics, the Olympians, the athletes that are, when first and second place, whether you win or lose comes down to fractions of seconds. That's what you're talking about. You're talking about the elite. And that is what the U.S. military is. That's what we're trained to do and believe. And when you operate in that sort of an atmosphere, it is extremely difficult to find its equal. And that is what I believe, that we veterans, once we take that uniform off, once a soldier, always a soldier. But there is something that I truly believe that we're chasing, and it's that desire and that adrenaline rush of acting within the disciplines of the elite. And so back to what I was getting at with the branding, we love patches, we love coins. We want to share that message and invite others into that circle of brotherhood of the elite. And often when we leave the military, when tragedy happens, when we hit those lows, when we realize that God's got a plan for us and there's only one way forward and we have to take charge, we tend to recreate a new identity. We start nonprofits, we reach out, we get engaged, whether it's with our veteran community, in your civic and government, whatever it is, we re-engage into the battlefield of life. And that impact, how can we make an impact? We start those nonprofits, we rebrand, we come up with these new names, these new identities that help carry our message forward. I'm not trying to say that's your cause. I'm curious, but if you will, please introduce and tell us about Wheelzz.
Wheelzz came out in 2016. Battle Creek, Veterans Administration Service. Wheelzz, oh my God. I've had numerous vehicles, special plates. The first Wheelzz is spelled Weelzz, Wheelzz. Then it graduated to Wheelzz. But he came about in 2016 to about 2019. I just happened to be in coming to Cleveland, Ohio for my annual physical at the time because I transferred all my medical to Cleveland. So they wanted to do a annual physical on me. Came down here. Had never been here before. Drove. I'm a driver. I don't believe in that flying shit. Let me be in control on the wheels. um,
Even in spite of your accident, that's fantastic.
hey, I had a couple accidents after the accidents. So some nice
Really?
vehicles and wrecked shit. But I wasn't scared to get behind that wheel again.
That's good.
When where was I at? Oh, Wheelzz. Aubrey Lash walked into my room and said, "Have you ever thought about doing recreational sports?" I'm like, what are you talking about? I didn't find shit out about wheelchair basketball until 2016. I didn't find out shit about wheelchair anything until 2016. This woman came in and introduced herself, Aubrey Lash from the Cleveland VA. She got me started in the recreational therapy, National Veteran Wheelchair Games. I ski. What black man skis? I used to talk shit about skiers. Ain't no way in hell. Now I'm one of those that can't wait to get on the slope. Black man on the slope, white heel, rolling.
Nice.
National Veteran Wheelchair Games. My first one was in Orlando, Florida, 2019. Oh my
During
God.
COVID.
Yeah. 2016, 17. One of those.
Was it before? So
But
before COVID or?
yeah, it was before COVID.
Okay. So you guys weren't all masked up and isolated and all that good
Yep.
stuff. So, okay. Go ahead.
Man, it was hot as hell, but to people, the veterans, it was like a huge ass 600 party, 600 people family reunion.
Yeah.
It was immaculate. The competition, the things that I competed in, the people I met, my circle has grown exponentially, has grown. Uh, Oscar Mike, Oscar Mike Tango by Noah Curry. Noah's an incredible quadriplegic. Started this organization, and it caters to veterans. Doesn't matter what your disability is, it caters to veterans. They have a skydiving class, Chicago, all week long. Oh my God, brother, skydive. Look, I was like, fly like an eagle. Ah! Before I was getting on the plane. Oh my God, man, shooting 30, 40 different weapons, M60, automatic AKs, the whole 9 yards, driving. Oscar Mike, all you have to do is say, I will go. They take care of everything else.
Yeah.
You don't even think about your damn phone for the whole week because you're engaged. You're talking. You're doing something with everybody. You're not home. There's something to engage every last one of us. If it's nothing but just to be up in a room, having a drink or having a smoke, and let it be known. Noah's compound. Only place I know where you can get a bunch of military men drinking and nobody loses their head. Not once. Nobody. I've been up for the 4th of July. They have a Denver trip. 2 days, 3 nights camping excursion where you are out in nature for 3 days. And then they bring you back in and you go eat at a 5-star restaurant. Whew, you can't get the rack of lamb, but you get something damn near close to it. Saved my life. The Wheelchair Cavaliers, Tim Fox, Wet, Tone, Dan, Billy, Ben, Michaela, Ryan, Connor. I play for the Wheelchair Cavaliers. The Wheelchair Cavaliers are backed by the Cleveland Cavaliers as if that's their professional team.
Yep.
They go out their way for us. They support us. Tim Fox is my best friend, my mentor. I call him Big Papa for the simple fact he is younger than me, and I can come to him and get the information that he will tell me and be truthful about without a second thought. Him and his wife, his son, Carrie, what they brought to my life is something that can't be touched by nobody else. The games, the competitions, the tournaments, the atmosphere, the families that support all of these athletes that are playing in this sport. Oh my God. It is crazy how the support is there and it's not even a second thought. They don't even see the disability.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about the Cavaliers. When you put that uniform on, oh shit, it's a whole transformation. It's like, shit, man, we about to get busy. And we've done the halftime shows at the Cavalier games. Name being announced for making buckets and stuff to 20,000 plus people. Who Cleveland has had a team for 33 years, but nobody knows about them. I met so many Cleveland Cavalier fans that have never known about the Wheelchair Cavaliers.
Wow.
Lived all their lives. And they've been around for 33 years. I'm going to get them to do a documentary on them because that's something that needs to be shared.
Absolutely.
They started out in the metal chairs back in the 70s. Metal chairs.
Wow.
Won't no encumbered nothing. It was the medical, hard, ancient Cadillac wheelchair.
I had no idea that the adaptive sports went back that far.
Yeah.
That's
Especially for
wild.
Cleveland.
Yeah.
There's a couple of players. Greg Johnson. He's been playing on the team for almost 25 years.
Wow.
Since he was 13. Got players on there. Wet. Been playing for 17 years. I think Rob's been there for 7. Tone's been there for 7. Billy, Dan, oh my God, Sparky, Trey, Smoot. These guys have put in some time here. And I
Documentary
love
would be
having a
awesome.
season. They give me a reason to excel and to enjoy life that much more.
Absolutely.
And I couldn't, like I said, they're a godsend for me.
Okay, so you tour the whole season with them. How many games you get a year?
We normally do 30 games a season.
Wow.
It goes from September, August. Training camp starts in August, and the season normally doesn't end until April.
So you got it. That's a good chunk of your year. That's busy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so then in between doing that, what else is Wheelzz doing? You're doing that, and then you're attending these different conventions, the wheelchair games, stuff like that.
Wheelchair games, and just every day going out and about, woman looking, hunting, smoking, down by the Lake Erie, chilling, cruising, detailing my Jeep. I got a badass Jeep, 3.5-inch lift, 33s, fully loaded. Ain't wheelchair accessible, nothing in there. Ain't adaptive shit up in there. It's all regular automatic Jeep. Not no Jeep Laredo, not no damn Wagoneer. I got the real McCoy, the Jeep.
How do you drive it if there's nothing adapted?
Both legs. I am paralyzed, but I have use of my legs. I just can't run, walk, and jump.
Okay. I got a couple questions here. Getting ready to wrap this up.
Shoot.
Who first called you Wheelzz, and what did that name begin? What did that name mean in the beginning?
Aubrey Lash.
Who was?
My recreational therapist first introduced me to the games, to anything recreational, because coming from a small town, Chatham, Virginia, Southwest Virginia, so far behind big cities. Yeah, I wouldn't have never, if I'd have stayed in Virginia, I wouldn't have never known about any recreational anything, because like I said, I'm from a very small suburbs where everybody knows everybody's name in that town and the whole 9 yards. The extensiveness of the adaptive world to me was not until I met her. And today, I'm not boogie boarding, I'm not scuba diving, none of that shit. I'm not fish bait. I'm not being a shark's hors d'oeuvre. Oh, this is a nice seal. He can't get anywhere. Nice meal. Not happening. I'll go out on a boat, charter boat, and fish. I'm not water skiing shit. Oh, no.
Okay.
Not a happy meal. But the adaptive community, there's good and bad. I'd have to say I've ran into mostly good. Great therapists, Nicole Fear, Aubrey Lash, Ernest, Bobby. All of these are coaches that I dealt with. Jeremy, who helps me with my rehab, things that I need as far as to help my shoulders, whatever's bothering me, they make sure I have the equipment to make it a lot easier for me, not as hard on my body as it's becoming.
Yeah.
They keep me encouraged, and it's like, I'm just a happy person when I'm out about. It doesn't make a damn what I'm dealing with. I'm all about bringing joy, spreading it, especially to veterans and stuff. And I challenge any veteran. If you sitting at home talking about can't, I guess your ass can't, because you ain't going nowhere. You can't get off the can't.
Yeah.
Once you get off the can't, you can do any damn thing you want. There's a shitload of stuff for adaptive people with disabilities. Everything from taking you up to Pennsylvania to where they have like a 600-acre preserve. You can go there and shoot any damn thing you want. And they don't have bullshit. They're all trophies. Wow. From the bears to the elks to the goats, they're all trophies. And it's incredible. Fishing, all the new adaptive equipment they're coming up with now, that before we were limited, we could go to the beach, but you had to stay so far away from the beach because your chair would sink.
Yeah.
And beaches weren't equipped for people with disabilities. Yeah. I feel appreciative that more places now are being more adaptive aware and have equipment for certain, disabilities. They have equipment out there for people with disabilities that make it a lot easier for them to enjoy or be as inclusive as they can. I applaud them for taking that effort. But at the same time, I have to keep fighting for what we are due, any person with a disability, not just me.
Are you familiar with the organization Follow the Flag? Look them up, find them they're on my Facebook as well, but there's a family out here in Utah, Kyle and Carrie Fox. They started a program called Follow the Flag, and they fly American flags in canyons, off bridges, various places around the country, right? Well, for America's 250th here in Pleasant Grove Canyon, here in Utah, they flew in the largest flying American flag in the country. It was a 1/4 acre in size.
Wow.
I've heard about these guys for years.
Oh my goodness.
Been great friends with them. They've supported my nonprofit, but this was the first year I actually got to be involved and actually go help in the whole process where they carry the flag up the mountain, pass it off to the
Wow.
search and rescue guys who stream it across, fly it or across the canyon, get it stretched out and ready. And then they did the whole unveiling. Anyway, he invited me up there to go try to catch stories from the guests, the people that were coming up and the impacts that were going. And later that week, it hit me that I wanted to bring my uncle up there, who was a Vietnam veteran,
Oh
and
wow.
give him a moment to see the flag. And he's got to be in his 70s, maybe even pushing 80s. Now he's got to be in his 70s, I believe. But him and his wife, my aunt Linda, they had a little bit harder time walking, and I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to be able to get them up the hill. It's not a bad walk, but I mean, for an elderly person, a disabled person,
Yeah.
the chances of them being able to get up to and right underneath the flag, it's hard to do, but you can come up to the parking lot, you can see it. Hell, you can see the thing from the freeway 20 miles away. It's a
Wow.
big flag. Well, I text Kyle one night and just said, hey, what's the rules on mobility devices going up? Can we take a golf cart up, motorized wheelchairs, what kind of options has he got? And he's like, no, we can't take any of those kind of things up there. Let me see what I can do. The next day he sends me a picture of this cat track wheelchair, those cat track wheelchairs that they take veterans out hunting in
Yeah.
and stuff like that. He had found an organization that had one. It had the whole gun rack on it and everything. It's obviously they'd used it, and so he's like, here it is. I'm going to have it up there tomorrow, whoever you need. Dude, we went up the next day.
Wow.
I was able to take my uncle up. My uncle actually got there and he's like, oh no, I think this will be a good hike. I think we can do it. So they had actually ended up hiking up without it.
Wow.
But the next day I brought my special needs son, Alex, up and sat him in the chair, and I got to take him up there side by side, walking with him up under the flag. And the rest of the week, Facebook is filled with just lines of people, veterans, disabled people, able to go experience that extra 1/4 mile that
Oh my
the rest of us
goodness.
don't get to the rest of us appreciate that they don't get a chance to. And it was impactful. It was beautiful. Like I was telling you before, we got a special needs son, Alex, and so I have a whole new appreciation on the wheelchair world. I'm lucky enough to be an able-bodied veteran, but I had such an experience and a life-changing experience in getting involved in the adaptive sports with Brad, doing sled hockey. Because being an
Yep. He
able-bodied
introduced me to
person,
sled hockey.
did he? Yeah. Here I am,
Winter
this
sports
able-bodied
clinic.
person getting into a sled with these guys that are double amputees popping off their prosthetics, and we jump in the sled
Yeah.
and the playing field's leveled. If anything, they've got a better advantage over me because of the weight distribution,
Yeah.
And so it gave me a whole new appreciation. But that would have been 2016, 2017, about there's when I got involved in it. And I will say, and I'm sure it's probably just because of my algorithm of life and my circle,
Yeah.
I'm seeing so much more technology and attention being put into the adaptive sports. That's why it blew my mind that you say the Cavaliers have
Yeah.
had an adaptive team for so long, because I mean, just last year, was it last year? Yeah, just last year, I got the opportunity to join the Utah Hockey Club sled hockey team for our new
Oh, sweet.
team here. So I joined, was a member for a bit, and it just I couldn't. It just wasn't my thing. I didn't have the time to go competitive with it. But that we too have a team now here that we sponsor and support with our sled hockey program. But it's not all veterans. It's anybody can get involved in it, but it's an
Oh
adaptive
yeah.
sports. But our son skis up in Park City, up at the National Ability Center.
Oh wow.
And he loves that every year. That's like the highlight of his life. He gets to go up there and has a instructor. Have you had a chance to be up there?
No.
Okay.
I cannot wait to get back on the slopes, but like I said, after dealing with this damn injury,
Yeah.
has
Well, if you get
kind
if
of
you
put everything that I love to do right now on hold for the simple fact Got to wait for this damn thing to close up, and it's just a pain in the ass
Well, if you ever get a chance to
not
come out
being
here
able to
to
be
Park
active.
City and come to the National
Oh,
Ability
hell
Center
yes.
here,
I'll come out there in a heartbeat.
I will come up and say hi. We'll come up and ski together. I've
I
never
will
skied.
come out there
I
in a
snowboard.
heartbeat.
I haven't skied. I want to ski.
Okay,
Just
well,
to try it. But
if I come up, I'm gonna be skiing, so you got to ski.
I'll ski with you. I might be in the same kind of sled you might be because I'll have to figure it out because I
Hey,
don't
I
know the
do the
hell I'm doing.
mono.
But,
That shit is off the hook.
oh shit!
It's like a low rider to the ground. That motherfucker be going. I be doing them big wides where the snow be kicking up. Oh yeah.
Nice.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. I love skiing.
Another topic I really wanted to get into. I would like to hear your version and story and your relationship with Brad Howe. How did you meet him? What does the guy mean to you? Did he give you a patch, a come hang patch?
Brad Howe is the ultimate, the epitome of what grace, love, and unbiasedness is. This man opens his heart to you. This man has a smile on his face. I seen his picture on your post and everything, and I was like, who the hell is that supposed to be with that stern, hard look, looking like Jack Nicklaus? But when I met Brad, oh, wow. It's almost like meeting a family member. He's got so much energy. He's got so much love. It's like his energetic nature is contagious.
Absolutely.
It's not manufactured. It is all natural with him. What you see is what you get. This man don't know how to put on a show.
Yeah.
He just knows how to be him. And if you have any kind of receptors as far as can picking up the goodness on a person, I go to war with that man.
Absolutely.
If he called me, it wouldn't even be a second thought for me to get in my Jeep and be on the road.
What does he always say?
Brad Howe's family.
Keep your powder dry.
Yep. Yep.
100%.
Look, have Jeep will travel.
Say that again.
He's my friend, man. Yeah, hell yeah. Brad, it ain't nothing Brad couldn't ask of me.
Yeah.
That I wouldn't do for him, because he would do the same thing for me or anybody else. And the man is just a godsend. It's like you don't know about these people, you don't know about their background until you actually come to a veteran wheelchair game and you see these guys engaging with the men and women and the families and just giving them an insight of what the possibilities of their life can be. But you have to you have to want to take that step to see what else is out there.
Yeah.
That is what Brad brings to you. He gives you that door and he wants to see if you'll open it up. And I opened it wide fuck up and ran through it.
Yeah.
I didn't hesitate. I jumped right on it. And I love this man so much. When I get this man, that man gets my word. If I give him my word on anything, it would have to be an act of God for it not to go through.
Yeah. I get so excited when I get a message from him or a call from him that he's sending me somebody new as a guest, because the man has a knack for, like you just said, he can change people's lives and he can help them, and he can help them turn that. And he
sees what we can be.
Absolutely. And he empowers us to be it. And so every time he sends me a guest, I don't even have, that's why I feel so confident in just a straight cold interview with my guests, is because I know for a fact that I can be vulnerable and I can force and ask them to be vulnerable, and they're going to get while I'm doing it. Yeah. I don't ever fear that I'm going to offend my guests by my questions, because if Brad's sending me someone, it's for a reason. You know, and like he said today, you know, there's something therapeutic about what I'm trying to do here. And I didn't realize it. this was not the purpose of this podcast. It's not where it started. It started out of my own depression and just wanting someone to come hang with me. But it's turned into this platform in which I get to meet incredible people that have impactful stories that need to be shared, need to be heard. There needs to be an awareness. I don't care how dark they are. That is life. That is life. It is not something that we need to throw a Band-Aid over and make it become taboo. It's got to be a part of the forefront of conversation so that it can be addressed, so that when the time comes that we need to change some legislation to make things happen, make things more adaptive and more civil and more humane, that we have people that are aware of the conversations, that are engaged on a political level with our disabled veterans, with our first responders. You said it in the beginning of this podcast. We've got firefighters, we've got police officers, nurses, first responders. I live right across the street from all of those, right here in my hometown.
Wow.
I love these guys. My first responders, my firefighters, my police officers. They're my best friends. I've interviewed the fire chief. You know, I've sat crying in the police office, in the police chief's office. I know these men and I see what they go through. I know what they go through. And there is not nearly the conversation happening about how are we supporting them? What's their mental health? My nonprofit was born. I was coming back from a paintball event. Once a year, I go down to the Moapa Valley down in California, and we play paintball in an abandoned cement factory. And that's me getting to relive my hood days. But in 2019, I think it was, initial start of COVID there, I was coming back, driving through Mesquite, coming up, and had it on the radio, and I was hearing them in the news talking about defund the police. And my freaking heart broke. I'm like, what are you talking about? These are my brothers. Defund them. They're the only ones that got my back. And it hurt me. And so I turned to my wife and I told her, I said, hey, I want to give back. I want to do something for these guys. I'm going to start a nonprofit and I'm going to host a civilian versus police officer and firefighter paintball competition. And I'm going to bring it to hometown Lehigh, and we're going to do this in the rodeo grounds. And little backstory there, my wife is on the Lehigh City Council at this point, okay? And so she's like, it ain't happening, baby. You ain't going to be able to do this. And so at first, she's like, yeah, I don't think you could. No, there's a lot of work that goes into this. Anyway, fast forward, I showed up at City Council one night in public citizen comment and pitched my idea. And I said, this is what I want to do. And the Mayor Mark Johnson, you know, he turned to legal counsel and he's like, well, you know, what do we got here? Can we tell him no? And he turned to him, he's like, to be honest with you, you don't have a say. The rodeo grounds belongs to the CIA, the Civic Improvement Association here. And everybody kind of just hums and haws. And I turn and I'm like, okay, so who's in charge of that department? And everybody kind of turns and points to Mike Southwick, who's also on Lehigh City Council. And they're like, he's the chair. And so I'm like, Mike, what do you say? Can I do this? And he's like, I'll get back to you. Well, a couple days later, they called me and they said, it's yours. Let's do this.
Wow.
And it became a reality. And so I love our first responders. I love our veterans. You know, my very first passion out of high school was firefighting. I had a full ride scholarship to the Utah Fire and Rescue Academy. That's what I wanted to do. But then I realized that's so competitive and I didn't really have a fighting chance in that. So I had to abandon that dream, became a menace to society, then joined the military, you know, got out, did the business life, did the nursing life. I did the home health and hospice, went the nursing world, graduated nursing school, got into psych, worked on this critical stabilization unit, dealing with the addicts, the suicidal, the homicidal. So I got a lot of experience in all those different worlds. And every one of those worlds, the drug abuse, the addiction, you know, all that stuff, there's not nearly the conversation happening around it. And so back to where I got off on my rant here. This podcast wasn't intended to become this where, you know, we advocate for this kind of stuff, but I love that it has, because I don't have that great of a listening base now, but I hope someday I do. And I hope someday someone's just listening and hears this episode and maybe they hear something that they never knew before. I learned something tonight. I didn't know Cleveland had an adaptive sports team for 30 plus years. That's impressive. That story needs to be told. That documentary needs to happen. But
I'm pushing for that.
That's fantastic.
I'm a moving shaker. Ever since I've joined the Cavaliers, even they would tell you, the Wheelchair Cavaliers, I love them guys. Everything I do is to bring light onto them, because they should have been given their flowers years ago. And for you all to still be here playing to this day in 2026, and people barely even know you exist. I hate that. I really hate that. And I am going to get that change one way or the other. That's going to change. These people about to find out about the Wheelchair Cavaliers from old to now. And some of them guys, like I said, Greg Johnson has been on the team for 25 years. They've been around for 33.
He's been there from the beginning.
Get out of here.
Dang. Yeah, that's a story. That's history that needs to be preserved. That story's got to be told. 100% it does. If I can help, brother, let me know, because
yes, sir.
That's what I'm getting at here, is that there are remarkable, incredible things that happen around the veteran worlds. And I'm not saying it's just the veteran worlds that do, but there is something, again, I bring it back to that. Athletes do it, back to that point of those who perform at a level of discipline with the elites. You have that addiction to that adrenaline of that type of service, and you'll chase it till the day you die, whether it's, you know, ruins you or doesn't, you know. And it's not all in good cases, but there's these stories of those that come out and put good programs together, put life-changing things together. You know, my buddy here, Follow the Flag, you know, the things like that these people put together that make an impact and share those stories and tell back to. That is what is keeping America alive. That is what America is about. That is what we chose 250 years ago to fight and defend, foreign and domestic. That this is America. We are a community.
Yes.
We are a united community.
That's why we have United States.
Absolutely.
United, keyword, united, not separate. United States of America. We are all one.
Yep.
No one's a singularity or an individuality. United. We're all together.
Absolutely, brother.
And people don't look at the things like the USA, United States of America. United States of America came together to defeat injustice. That's why United is in very first line in that United States. And it's people like yourself, me. I tell people I can be brash, but I can be unpolished too, and I can be very well polished. It just depends on the circumstances. Sometimes you can get more with honey and all that good shit. But guess what? Sometimes it just got to be a nasty taste of vinegar you're drinking that you get your point across. This is what we're doing. This is what's happening. This is what's not happening. And this is what's not going to happen. Not on my watch. And it's like I said, I took walking for granted. I took my life for granted until my legs was taken. I don't take shit for granted now. Everything I do is with a purpose. If I come to you and I offer not services, But if I can offer you something better than what you have going on or what you're dealing with right now, we can do that. I'm not that busy where I cannot stop and take time out and listen to somebody.
Yeah.
Because that's the ultimate respect, is when someone comes up to you and be like, hey, can I talk to you for a few minutes? If it ain't nothing but just to find out information or something,
just come hang.
Give that person that time. It don't matter. I don't care what they got going on at them games. I could miss a game, because missing a sport is better than missing the blessing of being there for somebody that you were supposed to speak to. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You were supposed to say something to that person, and you didn't. The games aren't for you to make it to all your games. I tell people that, fuck the games. The games are here for us to compete, granted. But guess what? An individual that's in need is more than any game they got going on here. And each one of these people will tell you that. Don't matter what you miss. You were where you were supposed to be for that specific person.
Yep.
And that's the way I feel God works. I know that's the way he works. I know when he brings people into my life, like Brad, Mr. Bob, these guys at the veteran wheelchair games, the able bodies, they are my friends. We have a rapport with each other. My disabled brothers and sisters, we are family. Big 500, 600 family reunion for a whole week of just partying. Partying. Don't get it wrong, we compete in everything, but they expect us to go and enjoy ourselves. We're not getting paid for this. But it's the enjoyment and the competition that brings us back.
Yeah.
It's the friends you meet, the acquaintances you've bumped into, and all of a sudden, oh my God, we have more in common than we don't.
Absolutely.
It's amazing. Like I said, Brad, Noah, Oscar, Mike, these guys, I don't know where I would be without them. I really don't. I thank God for them.
Well said. All right, Wheelzz, I got a couple final questions here.
Shoot, brother, we got time.
After homelessness, what did the first night in your own home feel like?
Oh my dear God! When I got the keys, the lease, it was truly a breath of fresh air. Like, shit, I did this.
Yeah.
Okay, this is mine. Okay, all right, cool. And then it's like, once I got my first apartment was government assistant apartment, a voucher. Then when I got diagnosed, I was getting disability for my regular disability of being paralyzed. So I was getting money for that. But I didn't have, I think my rent was like 200 something, where it was normally 4. That's extra money. I could decorate. I could get the furniture I wanted to get for my home. It was mine. Even though it's government assistant, it's mine. And I'm telling you, there's a freedom to that just, the freedom of comfort, the freedom of just yours. You're not what they call it, couch flopping or whatever. Couch potato. Mm-hmm. You on somebody else's couch. You listen
couch
to
surfing.
Yeah.
Couch surfing. Yeah. That's what you're talking. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did that for years, right before I joined the military. Trust me, like I said, I was a menace. I didn't have a job. I couldn't hold down a job. I didn't have a place that I could call home. It was just, where can I sleep tonight? How far can I get along to the next family before I burn that bridge and head to the next?
Hell yes. And it's like, I was there for like a year or so, and then the following year, I got to the point that I could pay my own rent. And that right there is the ultimate aphrodisiac when you can pay your full rent with no assistance, no nothing, and still have money left over.
Yeah.
It just set me up for my home, where I'm at now. Granted, I went through shit, you know, divorce and everything, but it didn't break me. It hurt. I burned a shit for a whole week, but, you know, it felt better. Get them demons out.
Yeah.
Purify your crib.
Okay. Have you forgiven the Army? Do you feel you need to?
No.
Okay.
No. I will never forgive them for what they did to me. Never. I go to my mental and I tell my counselor I will never forgive them for what they did, for what they didn't do, for the disparaging comments and labels you put on me when you knew the whole time this soldier was in trouble. This soldier was drowning. You saw me drowning in quicksand. And instead of reaching out a leaf or a hand to help me, you let me fucking sink and didn't give two fucks about it. They didn't. They gave me that honorable discharge and got me the hell out their hair. That's what they did.
Okay.
Didn't give a fuck what the end result was going to be, even though they knew untreated drug and alcohol abuse is just going to worsen till either somebody gets killed or you kill yourself.
It's part of the problem. That's why we have 22 a day.
Yep. I tell all my brothers, I don't give a damn what you're going through. You need me, you call. Don't
100%.
call me after the fact, because I'm going to be, one, I'm going to be pissed at you. Two, I'm going to be even more pissed that we could have done something other than the shit that just happened.
Yep.
But like I tell them all, don't try to call me after the fact. I can't do nothing for you after the fact, but just give you fucking moral victory. A moral victory ain't doing shit for you, because now you got whatever just happened, you got the full repercussions you got to deal with. When if you had just came to your brother, motherfuckers, don't have my number and don't use it. If you're a bother or a burden to me, trust me, I'll let you fucking know. But until you hear that shit come out my mouth, and I'm there and I pull up whenever you need me, you better fucking call me. Because I'm going to kick your ass when you're in the casket. Might even come dig your ass up and whoop your ass again for doing that dumb shit. I hate that, because all of it could have been preventable.
100%.
And guess what? I tell our brothers and sisters, quit trying to be fucking prideful. Let your fucking pride go, because you're not that person anymore. You're not that invincible individual that we thought we were.
Yeah.
Stop. Call. Pick the damn phone up. That's why you have my number. Not because, oh, it looks good in your contacts. No, use the motherfucker, because you know Wheelzz is going to talk to you. Wheelzz is going to be straight with you. Wheelzz ain't going to bullshit you. And I'm damn sure not going to sugarcoat it and yes man you. That ain't happening. I expect people to hold me accountable same way I hold them accountable. If I fuck up, let me know I fucked up. I can. It might not see it right then and there, but once I calm down, I see I made the mistake. Wheelzz can come to you and apologize and say, man, I messed up. My bad. Please forgive me. And I know how people talk about forgive and this and that. Guess what? You can forgive, but the thing you don't ever get rid of is the forgetting. You can forgive it, and guess what? That same thing might pop up in your face, and all of a sudden you have those same feelings that you had back then. They're back. That's that forgetting that don't forget. it still remembers that hurt. So I tell people, I can forgive you, but forgetting, that's a different story.
Yeah.
Whole different story. Don't get them twisted. They're not one and the same. Because forgiving doesn't mean be a fool and let them right back in there. You don't let a snake in the hen house. No, you don't. It's a snake. It does what it does. It kills the chicken. We're not doing that. If we can't be on the same accord, we're not going to be on no accord. I don't deal with pity, self-pity, my, that me. Man, please, put your fucking big boy pants on. Because I've been there. I've looked at a gun for 3-4 days, wanting to put a bullet in my fucking head. But having friends that force their way over into my crib, what the hell are you doing? Man, come the fuck on. Get the hell out of here. Come on here. Look at what you have, Sam. Fuck her because she wanted to leave you and just abandon you. Fuck her. She has nothing. You have everything and more to live for. But those are my friends that come to me. I was too proud to go to them that they knew something was wrong, that they got over here. Because I'll be honest, there was a couple of times I thought about Mel Gibson and that one scene where he's talking about eating a bullet. Been there. I told my counselors, been there. It looked that fucking dark to me at that time.
Yep.
But like I said, I had friends that came and got me. They knew something was up. Yeah, I'm very lucky for the friends I have.
Yeah.
I am blessed for the people I have in my life because they know my character and they know if you don't hear from Wheelzz, especially in the day or post or something, something's wrong.
Yeah.
Because he just doesn't operate like that.
All right, man. I got one final question here for you.
Shoot.
When your story is told, what do you want people to remember?
Regardless of how much shit life throws at you, you can still wipe it away and start over. Life ain't made enough shit to keep me covered like that, to keep me in that bog. No. If I didn't die when I was in a dark place, make it through the military because of my will, my determination, for whatever reason, God still got me here. He got me here for a reason. I haven't the slightest idea of why and what it is. I just know I have to be true to me. And I tell anybody, use this. Don't let it lay to the side. Get up, do something. Get out, do something. Don't be a statistic.
Yeah.
Because that's what you'll be remembered as, a statistic. I'm not nobody's statistic. I'm making my own statistician sheet. And it ain't me being on that list.
Well said. All right, brother. That's all I've got for you. Anything else we missed? Anything else you want to talk about that I didn't get?
Let's talk about holding the VA accountable.
Okay.
I was just in the VA for hand surgery, wrist surgery. Oh, yeah, I went into the VA for hand surgery. Had the hand surgery. It was a success up on the 6th floor at the Cleveland VA. So they give me this loaner motorized wheelchair where it's got the toggle switch. I really never use those really. So they gave me that to get around in the hospital. Well, I go get on the elevator, but I have no control over my right foot and I have no feeling from the calf down. My foot gets caught between the wheel of the motorized wheelchair in the wall of the elevator. And it's taking I'm trying to untoggle myself and I'm steady twisting my foot like this to where it snaps. But since I have no feelings, I don't know that. The next day, I notice my foot is swollen. I bring it to the doctor's attention. They order a ultrasound and an x-ray. Ultrasound was to rule out embolism, but then the x-ray showed the break in the ankle. Dr. Russ at the time, podiatry, takes my sneaker while they're taking me back to the room, takes my sneaker, goes down to the emergency room, and comes back with what they call a cam boot because they don't do cast anymore. Well, Dr. Ross puts this boot on me with no instructions, but to just keep it fit, snug and fit. So, okay. I'm thinking snug and fit, and then it's got an air pump on it, so I know this has got to be pumped up too. Fast forward 5 days. No doctors, no nurses, no change of shift nurses. Even check this boot at any given time that I had it on, 24/7, no weight bearing, skin against fabric, fully inflated. No one checking anything until 5 days later when I point out to the nurses, hey, I got blisters on my foot. Come to find out, I've got 10 of them all over the foot. I am raising holy hell. I called the hospital administrator, talked to him, raised hell to him that what the hell would have happened if I was a diabetic? I'm losing the foot. I know this already. I've seen this story too many damn times. Even in civilian life, it's not good. But instead of them owning up to their responsibility and what you have done, you take the route to ignore it. You're worried about my wound care, but you're not trying to find out why the fuck did we get to having wound care to start with. No instructions, no protection, no skin protection, no nurses checking anything. Malpractice, negligence, abuse, what else you want to call it? Cowardice. And the part that hurts, no one on the whole ward will accept that responsibility to hold them accountable. So, I don't care. They have been hit with a $5 million lawsuit for negligence and abuse and malpractice. For the simple fact, you have caused me irreparable damage. You have turned my whole life upside fucking down, and you don't give a damn. Basically, is what you're telling me. When you didn't accept that you did this, you don't give a damn about me. Not really. All up in my face, laughing, hee hee ha ha. But your action speaks volumes. You did this. You caused this. And I raised hell from the chaplain on down. Do you think to this day they even acknowledged it? But yet now I'm dealing with a decubitus ulcer on the outside of my ankle that I have to wait almost a year for this thing to literally close up. No wheelchair Cavalier basketball season. Really limited in what I can do veteran-wise season for the simple fact this wound has to stay dry at all times. But at the same time, hell, when I was home for 3 months, couldn't drive, couldn't go to no appointments, literally damn near forgot how to drive a Jeep when I did finally get behind the wheel. That's how long it had been.
Wow.
But you don't want to take a teaching moment to correct a bad habit, because that's what it is. It's turned into a habit now.
The exception became the
And
rule.
I'm sorry. I'm not an invalid. I will hold you accountable. I don't give a damn what your name is, what your title is. Please. Uncle Sam has done more to me than you will ever do. But that shit stops right there with him. No. Uncle Sam got away with this shit. Nobody else will. You won't. I'm not cut like that. And if you can't be truthful about what you didn't do and what you did cause, then okay, I have no point but to hold you accountable and shed light on what you did. And if you want to be a star, I will make you a star. But you're going to be accountable and held accountable for what you've done to me. There's no way around it. You can act like I don't exist and this is going to get washed away. No, it's not. Because my next move will be CBS News, and there will be an exclusive on VA abuse and neglect to their patients. I know how to get a story out. And y'all are they're going to pay for what they did to me. Because you basically told me I don't mean anything to you. All you worried about is wound care, but you don't want to talk about why I have wound care. The main reason I have the wound care, because a doctor that I trusted decided, oh, he's all right. This is Wheelzz. He'll be all right. No, you'll fuck Wheelz's life up. And not to mention the scars and shit. And I deal with this shit every day. Come on, guys. We can do better. We can do better.
Yeah. Sorry you're going through that, man. That is, you hear since I got out in 2005, you hear horror stories of the VA. We've all had our experiences. I was a poster child for the opioid crisis. They were handing me buckets, 3-month supplies of sleeping pills, anxiety pills, depression pills, pain pills.
Giving you a full damn stock of everything you shouldn't have.
So yeah, I am the walking example of that, and here we've got your story, and I'm sure there's others out there. You fix systems by taking accountability. I mean, I guess that's the best I can say to it.
That's the only way you fix them and make it better.
There's back to your comment of there's nothing wrong with swallowing your pride and saying, I screwed up and I am sorry, and let's make this right, whatever that might be. Let's move forward.
Because for the simple fact, it's not about the money. It's the resort that you made me go to just to get your attention. And it shouldn't have to go there. You could have came and apologized and said, Wheelzz, we made a mistake, and this is how we're going to fix this so it doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
That would have been it. You wouldn't be getting sued shit. Because you were man enough to come to me and say you made a mistake.
Yeah.
I can respect that. And that shit goes further than me than any kind of monitor. Just acknowledging that I am a person.
Yeah.
I am a human being. I'm not a piece of paper that you can just ball up and discard. I'm not.
Well, and we're not, no disrespect, but we're not unique. It's not just happening to us. There's lots of other people that this is happening to. If programs are around that way. You know, I wasn't the only person out there in the VA getting handed bottles and bottles of pills. It was a chronic issue.
Yeah.
If you've got an organization that is struggling with their wound care protocol and their wound care SOP, well, you got a chronic issue and it needs to be fixed, because in the meantime, it's not one person. It's just one person willing to come out and say something about it. One person willing to talk about it, but it's not always just one-offs is what I'm getting at, I guess, that there's
exactly.
I do not advocate that the VA is a terrible place, and I do not advocate that it's the best thing you got. I am so damn grateful for the VA, what it's given me.
Oh, hell yeah.
But I won't lie. When given the choice, I take my care to the civilian world. I've been lucky, blessed enough that my last, I don't know, decade, I've been fortunate enough to have some civilian care. Because I do. I'm scared to go back, because I was able to get off those pills, much like you, cold turkey.
Yeah.
Hypno saved me, crazy enough. And I don't know why, I don't care. But I got a session of hypno and I was able to quit all my narcotics cold turkey.
Wow. That's a blessing right there, brother.
Yeah. But I did. I had reached my breaking point where, you know, I can't keep living like this. You know, I had my first surgery in 2002. I've had at least one surgery almost every year since. I've spent more of my adult life recovering from surgeries than I have not.
Wow.
I don't know what it's like as an adult to not be recovering from illness, you know, and it's, so you take that, you take the stresses of that, you take the life of that, and then you compound it with drugs, alcohol, whatever it might be. I mean, I'm preaching to the choir. You know exactly, you know, this story. You take, you take the struggles of life, whatever they may be. We all got them, whether it's a divorce, you know, a loss of a job, poor pay, we haven't got the money, you know, bad relationships, criminal records, you know, that's just life. That's stuff that happens, you know, but you take that and you compound it with, you know, all this other traumas, you know, this, you know, let's compound it with meds that this person doesn't understand and isn't given the proper education. You know, I've gone through it, and again, it's I know what you're saying, and I hear you. I hear you.
I'm thankful you're still here, brother.
There's in the military, we're not brainwashed. I want to call it brainwashed. We are disciplined to take those orders and trust that if a superior is giving you these orders and telling you this and doing this, it's for a reason. And you're taught to blindly faith, to trust. So when you take a soldier out of that atmosphere and you put them out there in the civilian world and you're expecting these civilians to care for them, well, if a civilian hands you a bottle full of pills and says, this is what you're supposed to take, you trust them.
Yeah.
Well, then the next thing you know, you're hooked. You know, I will advocate. I do not feel, I never in my life going through the opioid crisis ever felt that I was an addict. Never, not once.
Yeah.
Never begged, borrowed, or stole nothing to get my drugs. They were free. They came from the VA. You know, so it wasn't anything of that, but I was dependent. I could not function. I could not live without being medicated. And so it reached a point like, there's no quality of life in this. Where am I going with this? You know, but again, back to my point, you give a soldier, anyone, but specifically a soldier, an order, an instruction like that without full knowledge, I guess, you know, and I don't know, because in the military, you know, we take orders. We're not given the ifs, ands, and buts and the reasons behind them. But back in that medical world, you give us, you tell us to do something, but you don't tell us why, or, you know, you don't check in, you know, whatever. We're going to do it. And we need that teaching. We need that education. We need, if it's not a repeated discipline, we don't know how to do it. You know, tell us to drop down and give you push-ups. We can do it. Tell us how to clean our M6, you know, or RM4. We can do it. go home and, put on this cam boot and make sure you've got, your foot protected for wound barrier, make sure you're checking your wound daily for this, that, and the other. Make sure you're not getting this redness and this inflammation. Those are things that we need to know. And just because that's natural for you in your world as a civilian, that, these are just things you understand. Well, we just got wired and rewired a different way in the military. And so we don't think that way. And so it's hard. Just recently, I just got done with the back surgery. And they were calling me the Friday before to let me know my surgery time. Well, this nurse had called and they were giving me instructions that they were going to be sending home. They were going to be sending a home health nurse in the day after surgery to check on me. I'd never had that kind of care. I've had 30 plus surgeries in my life. I've never had a nurse come to my home and see me. And so I was, wow, I don't understand. What is this? Well, they came back with, well, we've been doing studies and we realize that when we're giving patients instruction post-surgery, they don't remember any of it. So we're now going to start sending, and insurance is approved for a nurse to come to your home after your surgery, after the drugs are worn off, when hopefully you're a little more coherent, to give you your instruction to hopefully help you have a better recovery. And I was like, holy shit, that is brilliant. And so I was all on board for it. I mean, it was really cool that, it gave me a little hope that there's things out there that people understand this kind of stuff. So I see the good in humanity and stuff. Like I said, I've been on many different sides of the bed. I've been the patient, I've been the doctor or the nurse, so I get a lot of it. And there is no perfect healthcare out there. It is a hard world. I mean, it better than anyone, like you were saying. Back to, you go into the military as a combat medic, dude, you're learning stuff that, oh, I lost you. Oh, you're back.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
But as a combat medic, I mean, you're learning stuff that, we don't get to touch here in the civilian world. Lost you again. Oh, there we go. You got audio?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Okay. All right.
Got your back.
You're good. No, what I was saying is, you were saying, as a combat medic, you get training, you get to do things that, in the civilian world, people have to go to years and years of schooling to do. And even then, I would argue that they don't get even the level of experience. You train to learn to do these under extreme pressures. I mean, ER nurses is probably, big trauma nurses in those big hospitals. I would guess that would probably come close, the closest thing in the civilian world to the equivalent of a combat medic. It's just, it's one of those things, unless you wear the boots, you just don't understand. You never will. It's, kind of how it is. All right. Wheelzz, Doc. I appreciate it, brother. We're 3 hours and 15 minutes into this. I love it. This has been my longest cast so far.
Wow.
Yeah, I know we had a couple breaks in there between, but yeah, we're pushing 3 hours on this. This has been an awesome conversation. Brother, it's been great getting to know you. Your story, I'm grateful. Thank you. I appreciate you sharing it. I'm going to do some editing because most of my stuff on here I keep a little bit cleaner, but I will be posting the full unedited episode on YouTube. For those that, just like the raw. I mean, I know this is a long episode, but it is a story, and it's going to take time, pause, process, think through this kind of stuff. I mean, listeners, this is the reality of veterans. This is the reality of the healthcare world. This is the reality of the dramas, the traumas, and the PTSD of what we lived through. And I love sharing the stories of those that recover and do not become a statistic. So Wheelzz, brother, much love. Hey, did Brad get you a patch?
Already got it.
Love it.
Already got it. I'm just waiting to meet you. Meet up with you now.
Well, next time I'm out that way, I'll try to hook you up, or next time you're get a chance to come down here to the National Ability Center.
Hey, Winter Sports Clinic in Denver, Colorado.
Oh, there we go. When's that? Is that the next one?
Yeah.
Dude, I need to find out how to get involved.
March 29th, April the 4th.
Okay. I got to find a way to make one of those happen. Dude, my life's so busy trying to get pulled away from one of these things. I'm like, man, give the seat to someone who needs it more than me, but I need it. I really do, I think. So
need to meet your compadres.
For sure. All right, brother, I'm going to end this recording, but do not go away.